focus on strengthening the TB-HIV coordination through public-private partnership by involving the NGOs. And this was an implementing project funded by the Global Fund Round 3, and it was conducted in the period November 2006 to March 2009. The India scenario, as we are all aware, that there is an estimated 40% of population which is infected with tuberculosis, and around 1.8 million new TB cases occurring annually. As far as the HIV situation is concerned, we have an HIV in the general population of 0.31%. The latest RNDCP status report 2011 has suggested that there are 4.85% of TB patients who are detected as HIV positive, and about 9% of HIV infected individuals were diagnosed as having tuberculosis. Infection with HIV increases an individual's risk of being infected with TB and to early progression to TB disease. TB accelerates HIV disease progression. It therefore becomes a public health priority to diagnose both TB and HIV infection and take effective measures to prevent their spread and improve the quality of life of the infected individuals. Both TB and HIV programs in India have focused on public-private partnerships to improve their reach and access, and TB-HIV coordination is also being implemented through a public-private partnership in different settings in India. The Global Fund for AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria in its round 3 awarded a component to strengthen the TB-HIV coordination by involving NGOs through a public-private partnership. The objective of this was to strengthen the coordination between the two programs with help from NGOs, to increase the reach of the sub-district health centers, both the integrated counseling centers and the designated microscopy centers, to mobilize the communities to access these services and to raise health awareness in the community on issues of TB and HIV. This project was implemented in 5 states across the country between November 2006 and 2009. We present our experience of in the state of Maharashtra, where we implemented the project in 4 districts of this state. For each district, a field NGO was identified with the help of local public health authorities. Human resources included a district health supervisor and outreach workers who were locally residing people living with HIV/AIDS or cured TB patients. One outreach worker was enlisted for a population of around 40,000. Training of all staff was carried out with the help of available material for TB-HIV coordination from the state TB and HIV/AIDS cell. The district supervisors carried out the functions of advocacy, sensitization and training of the community leaders, decision makers and private healthcare providers, whereas the outreach workers, who were the cured TB patients and people living with HIV/AIDS, were entrusted with interaction with community, which was carried out through group sessions, one-to-one interactions, home visits and follow-up visits. Referral activities from the communities to the integrated counseling and testing centers, designated microscopy centers, and cross-references between the ICTCs and DMCs was done through the help of outreach workers. Monitoring and evaluation was done through monthly technical reports, monthly meetings with the HIV and TB local program managers, visits by the nodal NGO, and visits by the funding agencies. As we see, we implemented this program in 4 districts of Maharashtra with 48 sub-districts with a population of 14.4 million. We had 86 ICTCs, 164 designated microscopy centers. We had 4 supervisors and 357 outreach workers, of whom 74% were either patients living with HIV/AIDS or cured TB patients. The initially delayed funding led to suspension of activities during 1 quarter in 2007. The post of the supervisor was abolished during quite 5 quarters of this period. During the initial phase, the lab infrastructure and the lab kits were also being initiated and put into place. The supervisors conducted on an average 174 meetings with the community, with 8 with decision makers, and 33 with private healthcare providers. You can see the interaction with the community which was done by the outreach workers who could, even in spite of the medical condition, could do 8 contacts per day, and we can see the number of contacts increasing as the period of project was progressing. As far as the outcomes are concerned, we have people who have been referred for HIV diagnosis, as you can see from this chart. An average of 17 cases per quarter, a range of 3 to 27 were referred for HIV testing. An average of 9 were detected to be having HIV positive, a range of 4 to 13%. We could not assess how many of these HIV infected individuals were referred to ART because of issues of confidentiality. This graph shows us the HIV referrals per 100 contacts, and it is worth to note that the group sessions show higher number of referrals compared to one-to-one interactions and home visits. As far as the tuberculosis referrals are concerned, an average of 15, a range of 4 to 22 persons were referred for TB diagnosis per quarter. On an average, 2 persons were identified as suffering from tuberculosis, 18% with a range of 13 to 26%, and 84% of all these patients who have been diagnosed as tuberculosis were initiated on directly observed therapy through the national program. Again, TB referrals per 100 contacts, group sessions show higher number of referrals compared to one-to-one or home visits. So this is in short the referrals per 100 contacts. We can see that for group contacts there have been more referrals as compared to one-to-one and home visits. So in summary, the HIV 17 cases per quarter for HIV testing were referred, of whom 9 were detected as HIV infected. We could not assess how many registered for ART due to issues of confidentiality. TB, again, 18% of people were diagnosed from those who have been referred, and 84% have been initiated on DOTS. We could not assess the level of TB-HIV co-infection because desegregation of HIV results was not possible due to issues of confidentiality. So interactions with the community group interactions yielded more referrals from both the TB and the HIV detection compared to one-to-one contact or home visits. As aforementioned, case detection rates varied from 13 to 26% for tuberculosis, and for HIV from 4 to 13%, which is comparable to the 23% reported from a similar intervention in 83 districts from 6 Indian states, of which we were part of this implementation program. The lessons learned from this project, our coordination between TB and HIV program is essential to help improve access and the quality of life of patients. NGOs are motivated to improve access, and PLHIVs, the people living with HIV, AIDS and tuberculosis patients, due to their sufferings, they are more motivated and can counsel the community to have access to the care in the primary healthcare setting. Public health facilities need to be fully operational. Policies and guidelines need to be formulated before partnerships are formed. We acknowledge the funding agency, the Global Fund, Round 3 National AIDS Control Program, Maharashtra State AIDS Control Society, and also the Indian Central TB Division for having selected our NGO to implement the project, and the implementing NGOs in the 4 districts for their effective work. And I thank you for your patient listening.